I think about every day. I think about that lady, that speech therapist on the blue bus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know there is one or two. I remember like Jeff Bylack.
Yeah.
I think he did it at the there was only a very few people, and though that's why she was a speech therapist for all of Shasta Union High School District.
Wow.
Or school district, so she would just go. But there was only one or two of us that would use it.
Oh, that would be. Oh.
It wasn't for
Wow.
people think I'm so loud, and that's because I learned to project from my diaphragm from the speech teacher. She taught me how to project, speak up. And I grew up with speak up, don't mutter.
Oh, wow.
Because I was a timid little, scared little girl. I was afraid of everything. And look at me now. Look at me now, Ma. Hey, if my ma could see me now. Ma, can you see me now?
I can see you now.
I get excited. The only thing I like, I don't like holidays.
You don't like
I
holidays?
like seasons.
You like seasons?
I don't like holidays. I don't like identifying with any denomination, sect, organization, nothing like that. No religion. I'm an autonomous being here to make fun of what I spectate. And boy, do I get a lot of content in Taos. We're getting a big old snowstorm.
It looks like it.
I get all, cause I'm a thunder child. I'm one of them. I'm one of them finely tuned things, human being. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a human. Maybe we're not human, Ma.
We're not human.
Maybe I was born in Riverside, so I technically I think that I qualify for being alien. So, anyway, I like the seasons, and there's benefit to the seasons. I have to be real careful about when I go out. I can't go out and be around people. I'm an energetic sensitive with a mouth. And plus, there's more people on the roads, and none of these people, they just look at how they want to live on an ad, and then go out and buy all the gear because they can, because they're, they have all the means to, just shift gears and change their lives on a dime, because all they got to do is think about themselves. So they end up here in Taos for one reason or another. Skiing, whatever brings people here in the name of living that best life. It's so amusing because this is my fourth winter here. We moved here 2020, right before the big eclipse. We got here right before a snowstorm. And I've been a lot of places, and I've driven I've driven across the plains, and I've driven in snowstorms and blizzards and all. I've done a lot of these things, and evidently 40 becomes impassable often from Flagstaff, and we escaped from Flagstaff. So, and we didn't see nothing. It was like a beeline. We stopped once about it was a 7-hour drive. We stopped about 2.5 hours in. We had 5 dogs at that time, and Sass was still with us.
Yeah.
And then Stan Lee, he just used a litter box. He's a good cat. He has a nervous bowels usually about within the first 20 minutes, and then after that he's good. He don't want to travel. I don't want him to travel. We're not road people. We've traveled so much. That's what we're trying to do, is find roots. Funny how we found them. We found roots, Ma. I've been looking for roots. Careful what you ask for. Mom, we ended up back where you were born. but not raised. Thank God. Oh my goodness. Anyway. And people are all geared up and they don't have emotional control. All this kinetic flow, all this astrological energy. See, I look at the sun, when it does blast, and it blasts all kinds of directions. It's like blasting like Saturn and Jupiter. That's activating storylines within people's DNA. That's why history repeats itself. I mean, look at how history unfolds with the flares of the sun, you know, because people are flaring inside. A lot of people are mad. They're angry. I know a lot of, that's why I called today pats or circles. You need pats or circles. Like, it is so weird. I was talking to my friend today, my earth angel, and I was like, it is so peculiar to see so many people put so much effort and energy into made-up reindeer games. I'm not even we don't live in the dimension where any of that matters. We're trying to create a world just so that people can survive through the night in the winter. And people are like really, really upset that broad like didn't win. And I'm like, she's got to go to detox, man. She can't be like, that just goes to show this whole country's just hopped up on something, you know, like everybody's escaping from something and they do it so much that they can't stop themselves from doing it. People get stuck in loops. I've seen it my whole life. I'm like, wow, it's like their lives are put together, and then I see the patterns in which that they are. Like, they're ruts, grooves, and that's how they maintain, you know. And now we're going into another season of the grooves of like, it's every year it's less and less, because more and more people are waking up. And I hate the holidays. I have to do things to counteract, circumvent, to make myself feel better about people being so. Like, because they waste so much money, and I live in a tourist community, and there's a lot of poor people here, because they are priced out of freaking life, you know, because all the prices are inflated because people travel a long ways to freaking shop here, and so the greedy take advantage, and they screw their own community. And so I'm trying to build a community that's rises above all this stupid freaking elections and stuff like that. Like, forget what they're doing out there. Like, we're going back to community. That's the world that we're in. And I'm serious. I'm going to plant some seeds, because it's going to be a hard winter, although spring is coming. And it seems when I throw things out there, if they're supposed to happen, universe has a really peculiar way of just like bloop 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 here. So I'm gonna see what I can do to look in to having getting the people, whether it's through here in the local community, finding the people that are in alignment with me, that want to help me run like an animal people, like an all things rescue. Well, I don't know about snakes and stuff like that, but like cats, dogs, people, like single moms, like have to get out of a bad situation, because that's my alignment, because that's what mom was a lot of times when we were growing up. And so I've seen a lot of ways that the system has failed, so I can help, you know, at least be an example. And maybe if they, you know, try and be a good enough example, they might want to model some facilities and because since they're the ones that have all the funding and the money, you know, because I got a lot of good ideas. I just don't want to work with them. I want to do my own thing is all. I don't want to work with the borough brats. Just leave me alone. I'm compliant. I'm a rule follower. You know, they know that. That's one thing that's cool about like driving the back. I like to drive like this morning. I went out. It was like 7:30. It was nice and early, right before the storm hits, and it had snowed in some parts already. Not really where I was, kind of like dusty. There, it had snowed already in some places. So I was like, I go out. And then I do reels, and then I show Mom. That's how Mom gets out. That's how she gets out. And so got to see the water truck lady, and she and that's always a reminder of how that I'm always teachable and that I can change my mind because the first 2 years I lived here, I'd drive past there if I got out early enough, about 8 o'clock or so, and drove on this one road. There are these people that are filling their water truck from the fire hydrant, and I'm like, that just like if people want to do something, all they have to do is find the avenues to make it happen. And that's how life is. Like Dolores Cannon talks about. I dig Dolores Cannon. I've been constantly thinking, because I haven't been outside of Taos in a long time. I get a little cabin fever when I don't get to try. You know, that's why I meditate, so I can go into the no place space. So because I can't try, I don't have the, you know, I don't get to go driving around. But the way she looks at it is that like places don't exist unless you go there, and I've always carried that, and I've been to so many places. And then I look at the other people that have been to the same places and look at all the common denominators, you know? And then I'm trying to find, that's the only thing, like, I like going to the places around here. I can't stand people. I'm having a real hard time, and people really like being around me. It is a weird dynamic. I mean, I got a magnetic personality, Ma, because I'm your daughter. I get that. It's weird. Like, when I go to the grocery store, and like I said, I make a point to go out early, and I consider the grocery store a safe place. Like, to the point, I'm telling myself, like, I'm walking, and I'm going, yeast. Like, I'm like telling myself, don't forget, like, yeast, don't forget. And this guy, one of the managers walks by, and he's just like, aisle 5. And I was like, that. You know, because I was stuck in a loop. And sometimes people need a little help getting stuck out of loops, you know. I'm stuck in other people's loops. I'm stuck in Mom's loops, huh, Mom?
Yeah.
Mom needs consistency. Some days, I really don't want to I want to go, whoo, no consistency. It doesn't matter. I get to do consistency because that's what Mom needs. You know, maybe there's a world one day that think, you know, I'll have more people around the house. You know? More, you know, going in and out, like, always making sure that you have everything you need, even if I'm not right there, directly right next to you, you know? So I'm planting seeds to see if I can find a crew of like-minded people like me. No blues, no booze. Those are my contingencies. Those are my boundaries. No blues, no blues, no booze. So I mean, people like, I mean, it's so, but you're gonna be so busy. You just like, I was watching, like I was talking to my friend today. When I think about how much effort, how much energy people put in, money especially, they don't even care how much money they wasted on these reindeer games. And then just like, so many, see, I don't think like a lot of the Great Awakening is people figuring out that the whole American, all of political system is just theatrics. It's an extension of Hollywood. They get paid. They're paid actors to stand up and go, "We are for the people." They pay other people, lobbyists, to say, and it's all a big business. It's the greatest Ponzi scheme. And that's what people are waking up to. That it's gross. And so a lot of Earth is gonna be wiped away like an Etch-a-Sketch. And people are gonna get to play do-over. Hopefully they don't do the same shit and then the same catastrophic things happen because they play Legos in the same place. That's just not practical. That's hard for me to watch. It's very painful for me to watch. What else was I talking about? I was talking about a lot of things. Oh, so like with reckless, people being reckless, and because I like driving 20, I'm comfortable driving. I drove flight line for 3-4 years. Flight line, 5 years. I was in the truck, so I'm comfortable with going 25 miles an hour or under because I'm used to it. So, and people are freaking they're racing around everywhere. They're racing because they feel powerless, and so they go out and they're like, I'm gonna drive like it's fun and it's thrilling and exhilarating, and they don't have emotional control, and they're not dealing with their energy wisely, like that football player that freaking threw a tantrum, and that's the thing is like every being on this, everyone with thumbs, I don't think every person is like all human, so that's just but all the thumbers, come to a point where you're gonna have to, you got that voice in your head that says, don't. I know that dude before he was standing there, and that guy, like, your brothers are like, of all the, if I had a freak, dude, you gonna be okay, dude? You need pats or circles. Hey, Lib, if you ever see this, when he's sitting in your chair, ask him, you need pats or circles? Because tell him about how Margaret got kicked in the face and knocked down a flight of stairs. Huh? Just because I thought, I don't know. I thought she liked me. Because people act, that's like, I'm bad with social cues. There's no reason to, kick me in the face and knock me down a flight of stairs. I think that guy's name was Mark. I think he was a Mark. I don't know. And I even, like, I had that dude in my house at one point. I think because he was friends with Dita, the belly dancer, and like hung out, and I was hospitable, and I think he was jealous because Dita was with me. We lived together at that little place for a brief time before she moved out, and I think he really didn't like that. And then so I saw him at a party, and I'd been drinking. Yeah, kicked in the so for someone to call your brother the F word, are you gonna be okay, buddy? Like, dude, big old man like that can't control his emotions. And I'm sure that happens at home. I'm sure he loses his shit. I'm sure he's just like, And he had his freaking box of beer with him. They just, do whatever they want. They don't see the problem with that. All they have to do is put on a suit, be like, I chose hate with hate. Well, I'm 50 years old. No place anywhere. All the videos, no place anywhere I've ever, and I've stood up for my affairs. And I've had a lot of weird fucking, like, dudes, because dudes, like want to fucking, like, they want to hurt me. It's weird, you know? And, like, I've had, like, I mean, big men, full-grown men, you know, fucking run at me. And I just stand there and I don't fucking budge. And it's like, if you don't put hands on me. You know, because anything else, you ain't fucking scary. You're ugly and your fucking breast stinks, and go fucking wash your ass. And, you know, maybe if you fucking go, you know, did a sit-up or something, maybe you wouldn't worry about your wife being attracted to me because you're a fucking blob and shit. You know, don't be mad at me. Don't blame me. I've had that happen my whole entire life. It was around this time. I'll tell this. I haven't told this story in a long time. Weird shit happens around the holidays. Went to this bar. I don't think it exists anymore. It was in Omaha. Back in 2000, because it was before I got sober at all. And it was called Guitars and Cadillacs. And it was a Friday night. I was in the military. And I didn't drive there. I drove with a dude that was my buddy from the dorms. You know, and it was so busy. It was so crowded. And I drank Bud Light. That's what I drank. And I had a few, and so, because I always want to go, and then when I get there, I'm like, God, I fucking hate it. You know, I hate it. And I'm always down for the adventure in the beginning with. And so we get through the big old line, and I go off. I always like to be on the outskirts and just kind of watch. And on the back on this wall, there is this girl with a tub, she was a beer girl. She just had her own tub, and there was like by a restaurant, so there was traffic. But I bought a beer, and I stood there, and we started chatting. And because I said, this isn't your only job, because she was too put together to just be a beer girl. Like this was something she said, yeah, no, I'm in nursing school. She said, I'm looking for schools in California. And I said, well, I was a credit card vendor. I grew up in California. I've been all over California. I spent a lot of years, 11 and a half hours on a Greyhound bus. I know California. So, where are some of the places you want to live? And I'll tell you what I know about the place. And she's like, okay, Santa Barbara. And I said, okay. My reference. Spent a long weekend there with my grandma. Got seasick in the bay. Beautiful place. Know a lot of Pepperdine's not too far from there too. Like I remember when all the people I went to school with, they were going off to college, so I remember where they went to college. And so Santa Barbara, just a nice place, expensive. But then a place isn't a place until you get there. But anyway, so it was about that point the conversation took a twist, because the girl that I was talking to was evidently dating the bouncer at the door, one of the bouncers. And this guy was a big old fucking meathead. This guy was like, I wonder if he's, anyway. So, he didn't like that I was talking to his girlfriend. He got the wrong idea. And his girlfriend was like, dude, she's not bothering me. She's answering like, dude, don't do this. Like, evidently this is a problem. And she was really imploring him not to fucking give me a hard time. She was like, I hope she ended up in Santa Barbara and not with that guy ever again. Like, how? See, that's the thing is, I don't mind when guys or girl, I don't mind when they treat me like shit. I really don't. I don't mind if the whole world sees how they treat me. Because I want the world to see how they're going to treat someone that doesn't have any ulterior motive. Because I don't. I didn't. You know? And so, homeboy flipped his lid, saw red. They had to another. Now I'm pretty buzzed at this point. So they had employees escort me all the way across, because it was like in like there's restaurants around, so there's a pretty big parking lot, and then there's like a frontage road that went on to the main interstate, one of the main interstates there in Omaha, you know. So it's they had me walk. They escorted me off the property through the median of that main frontage road, or through the main road onto the median, and they're like, "Don't come back on the property." And I'm like, my ride's in there. Like, I can't. And this shit has happened my whole entire life. My whole life. The time at the shooting pool, I was about to go into the air farce with my friends, and we had like gone hard as far as drinking, partying and stuff, and so nobody was in the mood to drink, but we were kind of hair of the dog kind of thing, and we went to this pool place in Sacramento, and we're like over here in the corner, way back, tucked in the corner, like, you know. Whit and I would go out, smoke cigarette, come back, you know, back in. We're just like drinking beers, like totally like chill. And there was one guy next to us, and there was all these empty tables, and then they had like the bathroom was over there and stuff like that. And I'm talking like it was one of those pool halls where there was like 20 tables. Like it's in Sacramento, it's big. They had them everywhere. So this guy is over there. He's like 8 tables over there. He's like 3 tables that way, you know, 3 tables that way. Like, he is over there. And I'm just chilling, minding my own business. And this guy had been drinking too much. It's always the ego. The demons, they just like see me and they're just like, ha ha ha. And this guy stands up and he goes, "You! You over there!" And and I'm looking around, you know, and I'm like, this guy's talking to me. He's like, "I don't like you." I said, "Yeah, well, you and my mom and dad, nobody does. So what?" That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, great. This is why I have had to learn how to handle myself, because this has been my life. My own brother beat my no, dude, because they don't have self-control. I know who doesn't have self-control. I've seen them my whole entire life. I mean, and then they like let me know that they exist. Like when I go to the grocery store and these freaking men that are like this tall. I don't know, everybody's tall, like over 6 foot, like they're big, and they're gonna walk at me in my space. Go ahead and walk at me, that's fine. You run into me, you're gonna bounce off me, and you're gonna look fucking foolish. So go ahead and walk at me, you know? Because people are fucking crazy. And the whole world's getting like that. The whole world's getting like that. And everybody, like, you go outside, I go outside, I let the dogs out, I hear cars, engines racing, zoom, zoom.
Wow.
Ice, you know, now it's 6:30, temperatures dropped, it's been snowing, you know, like, the roads were wet, but now it's gonna freeze.
Wow.
So people are, and they just think that above it, they think that they're above it. So, interesting how much resources were wasted with an uneventful evening, with the uneventful outcome. That chick that ran for freaking president didn't even show up because she was so hosed. She was so intoxicated.
Oh.
She couldn't even go out and, like, Ma, like, all of this morning, all the social media, it didn't matter. I just stayed off it. I looked for a few, but it was just disheartening. I mean, my heart I felt for those people that were just like, you know, I know what I remember when I was 9 years old, 10 years old. Let's see, 80. Wait, let's see. Let me. '81. So 85. So I was 11. So we were still on Manzanita Lane. So I was 11. Reagan was elected. And I remember because I stayed up. And it was like midnight and all the votes were in. All the tallies were in. Ronald Reagan's been elected. And I was like, we're all going to die in a nuclear war. And I was fucking 10, dude. 11, and I was scared to death. And then I started seeing, I mean, we were never part of the system, so understand was in my ear when I said understand. Tiffany. But we never been a part of the system that they created, you know. So it's always been a resource hog. It just came, you know, they've just made the script extra big. They just keep incorporating, you know, oh, you can be a player, you can be a key player, you can too, we'll make you important, you know, and all these endorsements, and it just seeps over here, and it's just like the cracks that got too wide, and too many people are in despair, and so now we got to change things because the gig is up. Like, yeah, it's all silly reindeer games, and all the money that they could use could just, you know, be just in the Fed, and then give it all local, and then what is going on with that red light? Is that a hair on the red light back there? These are my new, I'm going to put these in the bourbon. I got 2 other kinds. I got to get more batteries. I'm going to wait. But I made it to get my almonds today, Ma.
You did make it.
I made it to get before the storm hit. Now we're supposed to get
Before the storm hit. Oh,
12 to 18 inches.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. It is so weird to see so many people, like, there's some of the people are like, don't relapse because you're, you know, for the outcome of this I'm like, really? Like, people would give up, like people were really bothered by the it's just like, it's so silly. Like, people have bigger problems this winter. People all got a freaking warm place to be. You don't know, if you ain't never been cold, you don't, once you get that chill in you don't get it out of you until freaking April. So, I mean, nobody thinks about this you know, people are all worried about everybody doing drugs and shit. Like, give people a reason to fucking live, because all the resources are going to stupid shit that don't matter. So if you're gonna piss away some funds, at least could you like get some over here, so there's some people that really don't want to freaking and all. I get that van living has become real popular last 10, 15, it's progressively because more people would rather just the life of adventure. You figure out real quick how brutal winters are on vehicles. And how hard it is to make, like, it's just, and I don't think also another thing people don't consider, every city, major city, in every city, including Taos, they're not friendly. They don't like, there's not a place for travelers to go, so that everybody's just shoot off. They don't have, and so all these people living in their vehicles, they're not welcome anywhere. So they don't got no place to be safe, so they ended up in places that are not safe, and it's just like, but they can put billions of dollars into freaking horse shit, freaking theatrics. It just doesn't seem very fair to me. Doesn't seem very fair to me at all. I just feel like we're getting to a point that, we can evolve past that. And then to see people like this one dude did a Rumble talk for 10 hours. Just live stream, just talk blah, 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 blah. Listen to my voice, blah, election this, blah, election that, blah, blah, blah. Like and then I think about all the people that like watched, or like put the energy. It goes along with all the people that buy into the whole, everybody that buys into it. It's just like this big old vortex of energy suck. Nothing's really gonna come of it. I mean, he made a bunch of freaking promises back in 2016 that, and then he freaking pardoned fucking like rappers and shit, I mean, and he left Assange in because he there's because of bad decisions that he made, and his people that he called, the people that you run around with, it should count for what they do, same frequency, he was. A lot of people. It's so weird to see people flip their script on. Take this, do it. You're not gonna kill me, And now they're like, oh, now I got an injury from this thing that I took, and all these people that are fucking dumb. Turnover is high on planet Earth. But that's okay, because they're just making freaking human beings again, little freaking. Our intelligence, artificial, freaking, it's just all so silly, It ain't natural. It ain't right. It's not how the world was supposed to be. I keep imagining, see, because we live in a dimension, where like, if the colonists didn't come over and like pronounce their secret societies of butt stuff and things like that, it didn't take and introduce like alcohol and guns to the Spaniards did it too, and that's my DNA, and that's why I don't play with guns. Problem solved. I'm healing that ancestral freaking trash line. With the Spaniards and the natives, I got them both. And the Scottish, the Freemason. I'm pretty much, I got all the lines that, like, you can't keep acting that way. You got to stop and do things different. You can't take over, and might ain't right, and all that. You can't do that. And so, I'm here, I'm called to share the consequences of what happens when people can't resist themselves, and we're seeing it more and more in society every day. everywhere. People can't resist themselves. So they're going to freaking put themselves in situations, and there will be consequences. Instant karmic retribution, as we understand it. Huh, Mom?
Yes.
So, we're all cozy dozy. Mom just ate soup.
Cozy dozy.
I got my bags of almonds. So, whatever happens, happens. We're ready. You know? Huh, Mom?
Yes.
Next thing I'm gonna get me one of those indoor power generator,
Oh, those
so
are-
we can just like sequester us all into this room, but we can run heater, TV, internet, or at least watch stuff on this.
Yeah.
This would take less power than that. Like, we could use this as a TV, huh?
Yeah, that would work. That would
To just save power.
To save power.
See, you know, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready for the apocalypse, Ma.
Yeah.
We're pretty much ready. You doing good?
Yeah.
I'm worried a little bit about Ma, because Ma's woke up with pink eye. Both, like she's good. Like it's an allergy thing,
Yeah.
is what my first thought was. And so I vacuumed everything and then like dusted
Oh, wow.
and got the big hair clumps and stuff like that. And then we got the air filter thing on, and then she drank 2 full cups of detox tea.
Mhm.
And then the second one had honey, and then you ate good today. But I worry about you getting chilled, and then I worry about you getting too hot. So I'm constantly asking her what her temperatures, or how her temperature. You doing good though, huh?
Yeah, one step at a time.
One step at a time. Because when little old ladies get sick, it ain't good. Because she don't go to the doctor. Huh, Ma? I am the nurse, huh? The nurse practitioner. Need to put Vicks on your feet. Well, she said she don't feel bad. So I'm not gonna make her feel bad by keeping asking her. She says she don't feel bad. But I gotta go. Hopefully, if if it doesn't snow too much overnight, that maybe I can dash out to Walgreens and get some batteries and like the purifier, like with the humidifier that puts the water moisture into the air. And then they even have some that you can put like the evanescence, the stuff that opens you up, like eucalyptus, like the Vicks or whatever.
That's a lot.
Whatever we gotta do to keep you healthy, Mom. Oh my goodness. Anyway, first we gotta get through this day, right, Ma?
One day at a time.
So there's a lot of people going through it. We say prayers throughout the day for them.
Yeah.
Just like I hope that I pray that people say in their heart. I know how hard it is. I know what it's like to have to freaking stop doing all those things that you want to do to get yourself in a better place. But that's why I can tell that people, because whenever I think about all the hard work I had to get us just to be in this little casita. You know, Mom's gonna be 74 in a couple on Thanksgiving. God willing, and the creek don't rise too high.
Yeah.
And she, I'm 50.
You're 50?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I always thought you were.
I know, because I act so mature. I became a stay-at-home daughter
You did.
like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, so essentially in the eyes of other people, I retired, although I work every single day. It's work. It's not always.
You did.
No, because I continued to just live from my heart and don't be a trash bag and do, all the stuff I want to do whenever I want to do it and take care of yourself. And God kind of made it so creator kind of made it so I had no choice but to get stay fit anyway. And then it became my lifestyle, and then I have progressively incorporated it into my lifestyle more and more, and encourage other people to do that and have this whole time. So I've been talking this talk this whole time while all these people putting all the while trying to just like add in my community in positive ways, just like doing little fun shit and stuff for people all over the place. And people are happy to see me when they see me.
They are.
I noticed that. Somebody asked me that. They're like, and what do people, and I was like, oh, see, because I grew up in an environment where people didn't look at me like how you see those videos of where people are like, ooh, coo, coo, and they're modeling the little baby and the little, I know. You know what if you see the psychology videos where they do the test on the kids and they're like, okay, don't give the kid a response. The kid's like gonna, want to mirror you. Yeah. And then just give him just stone. Well, that's what I got. And then as I got older, I would get like ugly face is this is the only thing I can think. It's like they look at me like I'm so ugly. Oh. And it's just because I know what it was. It's because whenever I was with my mom, she saw my dad's face in me. Oh. And so I was a constant reminder. And whenever I was with my dad, all he saw was my mom's face. And so, punish her, no, I'm just a little girl, just all that stupid human shit that people do all the time. And it fucking and then they're never say mom said she was sorry. My dad never once said he was, he like, dude, he's the guy. He's the machismo. He and my brother both, like, they're the machismo. That's how I know. That's how I learned it. Like, fucking, women, I put them in there. But he was a truck driver. Oh. Like, he fucking threw me in a fucking swimming pool at the family reunion. I don't know these people. Oh. And then, like, we're down in this, like, big fancy house. Like, there's another Greg Hessick has my dad's name, who was a banker in Los Angeles, Now he's retired, like, has a, just, like, got to live in that program, but all these programs never fucking benefited me. So I had to drive down to LA for this and I was all excited, oh, that's cool, they have a pool. I didn't want to end up in it with all my clothes on in a white top that was like see-through and stuff. I mean, like, and then don't you dare freaking spoil it for everybody else. You better just be a good sport. Like, all that gaslighting. I didn't even know I just know that that's something that jerks do. See, people can put all these clinical terms on people's behavior, and I'm like, that's dumb. They're just mean-spirited and ugly. They're just like, they got demons in them. They're provoked by their own will and perversions and stuff like that. They don't got no discipline, and then they do things, and then they, like I said, put on a suit, say, oh, I was sorry, just learn from it. That's all you can do. Now, if there's a history, like, then that's something that people got to look at. Everybody's makes mistakes, I just hope, I hope that because I come to these points all the time, because as you heard some of the stories, like, the way people, like, I've turned the cheek a lot. Oh, and the second time at the pool hall, the guy that was, I said earlier that was playing right next to us. I said there was a guy playing right next to us, and there was like two guys there. One of them said, "I'm an off-duty cop. That guy's not gonna bother you." Oh. So I knew that I wasn't in I mean, and plus I'm never worried because I've had to handle myself under so many threatening situations. So now people like are getting all boo, and they're like, that like they're experiencing it, all this weird shit that I've always had to experience with like these just it's so weird. Because nobody ever thinks that this shit is gonna happen to them, and they gotta be careful. Like I don't, like I'm careful about letting people, like I don't like it when people walk within arm's length of me, because there's too many crazies out there. And they're going around freaking just throwing blows. They're just hitting. They're just, because they're just not there. There's no soul in there. It's just all demonic and stuff. And the earth's changing. So I'm going to keep living our reality of like how America would have been if the indigenous got to lead the way. Yeah. And everybody got to learn the war, like how, there weren't so many secrets and takeovers and all that stuff. So I think it's going to happen because more people want it. Like, that's how it was supposed to be. Like Turtle Island, it was supposed to go to this course, and then it got hijacked, and now it's getting back on course. Turtle Island, yeah. So it's kind of cool, I know I'm building community where I live. I would like to see more people that, are like-minded like me. I'm thinking I might want to see what it's going to be like, to see if I can, maybe get a little small ranch here in the spring.
Yeah.
So we can have a garden with a lot of security. That's what I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. I hope